Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. We may have gained an extra hour of sleep yesterday, but that doesn't mean you might not feel a little bit off for a few more days. Here to explain how sleep affects all the aspects of our lives, we welcome back Dr. Leah Katz. Great to see you.
So nice to see you.
Glad you're here today.
Thanks for having me.
We're
it's good
all
to be
out
here
of
today.
sorts. The clock changed. It's dark and stormy, gloomy Monday.
I know.
I did my best over the weekend, and I'm still feeling kind of off today.
Me too.
Is that okay?
Of course, and I think we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And whenever we go through any sort of transition, especially one like this, that's such a good reminder. You know, we were just talking about it. Like we're all doing this together. We're all riding the wave of a little bit of sleep deprivation and getting kids adjusted to a new schedule. So yes, it's okay.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it to tomorrow. Let's talk about some myths and then facts about sleep. So myth, everyone needs at least 8 hours of sleep. Is that not really the truth?
Yeah, so it's so interesting. If you watch or listen to leading sleep experts read what they're writing and research that's coming out, it's not that. You know, I think we typically have heard 7 to 9 hours is a sweet spot depending on who you are and how you're wired, but the range could be even broader than that. And I think the important take home for that myth buster is to just pay attention to how you feel when you have certain amounts of sleep. So if you have 7 hours of sleep, how do you feel that day? Are you feeling groggy and tired and like you can't make it through the day, or are you feeling energized? Some people could do with less sleep.
Yeah, I know some superhumans that always seem like they're functioning on about 5 hours of sleep, and I'm thinking, how?
I know those people
that's
too.
just the way that we're wired, I guess, right?
Everyone's wired different, need different amounts of sleep.
What about partner habits? Is it good or bad to sleep in a different room than your partner?
I love that one just because I think there's so much stigma around needing to sleep in separate rooms or separate beds from your partner, and a lot of people have shame. I work with this and I hear this in my clinical work too. People are embarrassed almost to tell their friends about that.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that to preserve sleep. A lot of people more and more are doing that because our sleep is important, and prioritizing sleep helps us have a better relationship and better functioning during the day.
So many people work different shifts. I worked a different schedule than my husband for the last 10 years, and it's always kind of a song and dance of how are we both going to accomplish rest.
Totally.
That would be so neat.
And some people are lighter sleepers and deeper sleepers, and so there's so many different things that go into that. And of course, it's absolutely okay to need to not share sleep space.
Okay. What about your body gets used to lack of sleep? Is that just not the case?
So that's not the case either. I think, and I know I hear this from younger clients, so maybe it's a younger thing. This idea of if I just sleep deprive myself, I'll get used to it. That's not the case. It really does take a toll. Maybe those of us who are a little older can attest to that.
Yeah. I definitely told myself that on the morning shift many times. I'm just used to it.
Right.
Not really. Okay, what about napping? Does it help or harm nighttime sleep? In adults, of course.
So napping, I mean, I think sort of there's different opinions on napping, and napping isn't always bad, but it doesn't take the place of good nighttime sleep. So sometimes we think, okay, if I don't sleep well and I nap during the day and kind of do that consistently, it'll make up for the sleep that I'm not getting at night, and that's not true. It's different kinds of sleep, different qualities of sleep.
Okay. Is that just another kind of listen to your body thing and know it works for you? Because if you are a shift worker, sometimes you just have to find the sleep where you can.
Yes, and I think so. It's listening to your body, and it's also knowing, I mean, paying attention to what that nap does for you. Sometimes we nap, but then it throws off our nighttime sleep, and so how much good did it really do us?
Okay, what about alcohol?
Yeah, that's another good one. A lot of times people think, oh, if I drink a little before bed, it helps me get into a good sleep. That's actually a really big myth. It might help us fall asleep because it's a sedative. It helps us get sleepy. But actually the quality of sleep that we have if we drink before we go to sleep is worse.
I always find that.
Yeah.
You go night-night pretty quick, and then you wake up a couple hours later and you need something.
Exactly.
Okay. What to do if you're having trouble sleeping? Where are some good places to start? Yeah,
I mean, so if it's a consistent thing and you're struggling consistently, always rule out any sort of medical apnea, something like that. So talk to your doctor about it. But if it's something that's not super consistent, or I mean, this is something you can pair with talking to your medical doctor, thinking about how you're setting up your sleep is really important. So things like developing some sort of sleep routine, winding down, not saving taxing activities for right before bed. What does your sleep environment look like? You know, so always cooler, darker, cleaner is better.
Phones in the bedroom, do we have to just get rid of them? We got to stop, right?
I think so. I mean, again, it's one of those things that's so hard to get rid of, and it's something that personally, like right now I'm trying to do, just charge my phone outside of my room, and I notice that the nights that I do that, I sleep better and I feel better about myself just because I'm replacing that scrolling time with meaningful reading or other kinds of activities.
What about cognitive behavioral therapy for sleep issues?
Yeah, and so that's really important to know. If someone is having more chronic insomnia and having a hard time getting to sleep, there's something called cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. It's a specific form of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, that targets insomnia. It's usually a shorter term therapy, so that's nice to know. It's not usually a longer term investment. And it functions similar to cognitive behavioral therapy in that it works with our thoughts that get in the way of our sleeping, but it also talks a lot about what we were talking about before in terms of sleep structure and sleep schedule and relaxation exercises and processing stress that might be interfering with sleep.
Because you can have that goal in mind of getting better sleep, reducing your insomnia, all those things to kind of get toward a more enjoyable sleep experience.
Exactly. And it's such a slippery slope too, right? Because
And what about mindfulness?
Yeah, so that's my personal favorite because I have been so influenced by mindfulness in my own personal life. So bringing in mindfulness to either preventative, getting better sleep, so meditating a little bit before bed to help process the stress of the day can be really nice. And or bringing it into like the hard moments when we have a hard time falling asleep or getting up in the middle of the night and having a hard time falling back asleep. Something that I personally really like to do is you learn with mindfulness, learning to notice the thoughts that are coming up and then bring in awareness to one part of your body. So this is just mine, but people can customize and sort of figure out what works for them. Like just feeling the back of my head on my pillow and just noticing that sensation, you know, because it's like a really neutral place to bring our awareness to. So you notice the thoughts. Oh no, how am I going to function tomorrow? What's going to happen? Oh, thank you, thoughts. Hello, I see you. And then you just ground yourself back in whatever body part you're bringing your awareness to.
Okay, back to reality.
Back to presence.
Yes. Thank you so much. Great to see you.
Good to see you too. Thanks for having me.
We'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.